Okay, so it's back and shoulder day, and we're going to start off with a compound exercise within a deadlift from the floor. So that engages your glutes, hamstrings, and the whole of the back of the body a lot more than, say, doing it in a partial range like in a rack. If you've got problems with your knees or lower back, however, the rack deadlift is a good alternative because you don't get such a full range of motion on the movement, so it can save your back slightly. Whereas we're doing all right. I had a broken back 2009, and now I'm back doing deadlift. So never say never. Never say you can't do something. You know. So we're back to our first sort of working set. Really, we're on like just over about 4.5 plates almost. I'm looking at 5 reps. The thing you got to think about when you do deadlift is the initial drive comes from your leg, but your torso pivots. Your torso pivots, and that's how your back drives and gains so much mass and strength. So a lot of people do these wrong, and they kind of squat up and squat down. But this isn't leg day. We've done squats. This is back day, predominantly. So we need to pivot over at the hips. And the easiest way to teach someone is to tell them to thrust their bum back and then keep their back straight. So keep your back arched, thrust your bum back, and you're in the deadlift position. And just stand up straight. Yeah. Here we go. I'll wake you up. Yes! Come on! Good. Hop. Here we go. Easy up. 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 Yes. Up. Woo. Up. Ah. Whoa!
What's up? Big pull.
A little moment of weakness in my mind there halfway out where the arse was going. Oh.
It's a beastish.
Alright, so we're moving off from deadlifts now, and we're going to do a bent over row. So still feel a little in your lower back here and you're just supporting the weight, but as long as you've got a nice arch and a strong back, you'll be fine. Now also you find that when you drop the weights down to a row movement, it feels particularly light because we've been lifting double this on the bent over deadlift. So now we're going to just start off warming up. We're looking at 12 reps every set, and we'll increase the weight each set as we go. The big thing to do on here is think about keeping your torso still and moving your elbows back so your torso stays still, rather than this kind of thing where you're using momentum to get the bar up. On the third back exercise now, we're going to do a reverse pull down. So it's where your palms are facing you and you're going to drive your elbows low into your side of your body or your lower lats. So what we want to do is really engage your back by arching towards the machine, pulling the elbows really far back so you're squeezing at the lower back position. Let it stretch you right out and stretch your lats out at the top. Purposeful stop and then drive through again with a squeeze at the bottom. So it's not about weight, really, although we want to go as heavy as we can for 12 reps. It's about getting that full stretch to let the lats stretch out and get a really hard contraction. Holding their back for a second when you're trying to squeeze your back, your elbows around your back. Let's work. Come on. Okay, so we're moving on to shoulders now. So we're on the seated military press. So a seated version is a good alternative if you've been doing a lot of lower back stuff, as we have today. It gives the lower back a rest. Obviously we could do a standing press, but it still can add more stress to the lower back. I think we've done enough on it with the bent over rows and deadlifts today. We're going to sit down, take stress off the lower back, isolate the shoulders more. This is a compound shoulder press, so it's going to work most of the three areas of your shoulder, the front, side and back. Although I'm going to bring it to the front, so it will bring more emphasis to the front now than say the rear. Now the idea of a shoulder press is to come down to 90 degrees, so you want to set your hands so they're parallel to each other, and when you bring the bar down it's at 90 degrees. So really for me that's in line with my nose or my mouth. Any lower than that doesn't really engage your shoulders anymore, but starts to aggravate your rotator cuff. Now this exercise can really bring people's shoulder problems on, especially if they do it behind the neck, because then you're rotating backwards as well as too far down. So we're going to keep it safe, bring it forward, lean back slightly so it's straight up and down, basically to your nose and up again. Don't lock out the joint though at the top, don't lock the elbow, because that will aggravate your elbows, and also it takes the load off the muscle you're trying to target. It gives the muscle a break while you're locking the joint, so let's not do that. So almost 3/4 of the way up and then all the way down to 90 degrees.
Grind it.
Alright, so now we're going on to the side delts, or the lateral head of the shoulder. So we're going to do lateral raises. The teaching point really on here is to come out the side of your body. A lot of people do this when they put the hands in the front and they lift like this. That makes them able to lift a heavier weight and put less stress directly on the side of the shoulder head. So keep your arms straighter, tiny bend in the elbow, which is for safety really. And you feel like you're coming out the side of your body. You're not coming from the front here, because that'll attack the front delts and we're trying to hit the side. So if you go too heavy, the dumbbells will start shifting forward in order for you to get them up. So really that's too heavy. You need the weight to be driving up the side. And what I would teach people is don't let the weights touch your leg. So if you can't control that weight down and stop before it touches, you won't get it out the side of the body for very many reps. And the weight would be too heavy. So pick a weight you can come out the side of your body, up to about parallel. Any higher than that, and you'll tend to shrug, use your traps to get the weight up. And we're not trying to do it, we're trying to isolate the side head. So take it up to that point just before the traps engage and come back down. Always slower on the way down than on the way up. Okay, so we've moved on to the rear delts now, so we're going to bend over and do a lateral raise in a bent position which will hit the rear delts. So the coaching point here is to bring the hands, when you're bent over, in line with your head. So you feel like you bring the dumbbell slightly forward. Now keep the emphasis on the back of the shoulder. People do this wrong because they bring the elbows back. Allows them to do the movement but takes a lot of the stress on the back and off the rear delt. There's a very small muscle, you have to be very finicky at getting it right, and the easiest thing to do is come forward slightly. Come forward slightly because the chances you slowly drifting backwards as the set carries on are quite high. All right. So final exercise of the day is shrugs. So people put this on back or shoulder day, it doesn't matter, but we're doing back and shoulders together, so we'll put it at the end, definitely. Now we're just going to do 2 sets, both to failure. The thing is to drive the bar up as high as you can. A good technique in order to get it higher is to bring your chin down to your chest. It allows you a higher range and a 3-second descent. So really high up, slow, 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 big stretch, up. So it's a very small movement, but you've got to try and make the most of the range as you can. As heavy as you can, somewhere between 10-12 reps. And don't ever at home rotate your shoulders. You see people doing this in the gym, that will lead to an injury. So it's a straight up and down movement.